We built a really strong team, a team that's very representative of our entire conference, which shows that our conference wants to move forward even stronger so that we can even do a better job of addressing those problems facing the country.
That was Republican Congressman Steve Scalise of Louisiana, and that was back in June when he was elevated to the leadership of the House Republican Conference. House Republicans made Scalise the #3 Republican in the House after Eric Cantor lost his seat in a shocking primary upset. And today, just 6 months after that, Congressman Scalise finds himself embroiled in controversy. Reports that he gave a speech to a white supremacist group back in 2002 when he was a state legislator. Joining us now is Frank Thorpe, NBC News Capitol Hill producer. Frank, thanks for joining us tonight. So let's start with the bottom line. We have all these reports out there that Republican leaders in the House, I guess the two leaders above Scalise at least, are monitoring the situation closely. What are they looking for here? What should we be looking for here next in this story?
Well, I think that they're trying to figure out what the reaction is to this in the general media. Right now, Scalise has come out and did this interview with a local New Orleans newspaper. They want to see if that actually moves the needle at all. Scalise, I mean, his defense here is that he went and did this speech that this speech was more just about boilerplate issues, about opposing a tax hike. And what Scalise has going for him in this situation, which is different than what happened with Trent Lott, is the fact that we don't have the transcript of what Scalise said. We don't have video of what Scalise said. And if it does turn out that this was just a pretty boilerplate speech about tax increases, it's a lot different than what Trent Lott said, saying he was supporting what Strom Thurmond was doing.
I guess though, Frank, I mean, it gets to that. We were in that post that Eric Erickson, the conservative blogger, put up tonight saying basically, how could you not know it's David Duke's event? And I guess to put this in some context, we're saying this conference occurred in 2002. Just 3 years before that, Duke had come within 3 points of making it to a runoff for a congressional seat in Louisiana. He'd made the gubernatorial runoff. He'd beaten a sitting governor 10 years earlier. This was a guy who definitely had a conservative political constituency in Louisiana. Is it plausible that somebody like Scalise, an up-and-coming political figure in Louisiana, very ambitious, courting a conservative audience, wouldn't know who Duke's involved with?
Well, I don't think that he says that he doesn't know or he didn't know who Duke was. And I think that, I think that there definitely are some questions about whether or not he knew what this organization was. And, he clearly knew who Duke was. I think that, and he's admitted that much in his interview with the New Orleans newspaper. I just think that it comes down to whether or not he knew who this organization was when he went and spoke to them. And that might go down to what his defense is here, poor staff work. If he only did have one staffer who was being shuttled from event to event, he wasn't necessarily sure what groups he was speaking to. Granted, that is necessarily a excuse, because you probably should know who you're speaking with. But, I don't think that there's any question that he knew who David Duke was. I think that the question now is whether or not he knew what this organization stood for when he went and spoke with them.
When it comes down to John Boehner, the House Speaker, obviously he could his ultimate where he comes down in this ultimately could have a lot to say with how this story plays out. Do we have a read on Boehner, a sense of Boehner, when it comes to balancing maybe personal loyalties that he feels to members, wanting to give them the benefit of the doubt, maybe if he has any personal feelings at all for Scalise here, versus bottom line damage control for his party, saying, hey, look, this is a bad headline. We don't want to be associated with this. Do you know how he strikes that balance?
Well, he has a pretty killer line when it comes down to ethics violations and things that are questionable ethically. I think that he's very loyal to his team. And and that comes down to rank and file members or members of his own leadership team. I think that right now is kind of a difficult situation for him because he has Congressman is a stumbling block for that. But I think that he'll probably see how this plays out. He'll talk to Scalise, get a gauge as to whether or not he feels like he can trust that Scalise didn't know about this organization when he went and spoke to him. It's a different, at the moment, it seems like a different situation than somebody like Grimm, who who has pled guilty to a felony.
Right. Okay. NBC News Capitol Hill producer Frank Thorpe, really appreciate the time tonight. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
And still ahead, this is sort of the time of the year for big news dumps. It's when you get all the news out that you don't necessarily want anybody else to see. And there was just a doozy of a news dump. We'll have that story for you next.